Hey guys, a quick review. I just finished watching All Japan Pro Wrestling Excite Series, day 1 of the tour, and this had the title match, the Triple Crown title match, the first defense between Shiozaki's, hopefully a long reign. So, All Japan aren't drawing particularly well at the moment. They couldn't draw 900 for this one. I can't remember where it was. It wasn't Karakun, I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter where it is. I mean, you should be drawing, a lot more than that when you've got a Triple Crown title match on the card. Whatever build-ups, whatever's going on, a Triple Crown event should be drawing a lot more than that. So that's a bit worrying for All Japan, how they pay for their wrestlers. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they've got a fair few sponsors. I think that's probably how they do it. But you just wonder, how they pay some of these guys. The Champions Carnival blocks were also named recently, and they look pretty dire. There's a couple of fresh matchups. For singles, you've got Zeus and the Bodyguard, who are both like bodybuilder type dudes, and I don't think they've done a Champions Carnival yet. And you've got Kengo Mashimo as well. He's the K Dojo, Kaientai Dojo champ, so that's something fresh, something new, I suppose. So anyway, let's get on to the matches. So first up, we had Fuchi, Masashi, Aoyagi, Aoyagi, I think is how you pronounce it, Takao, Soma, and Yuma, Aoyagi. I think I watched a singles match between Yuma and Kento Miyahara recently, and Yuma looks good. I quite like him. Fuchi put him over initially, and then Masashi gets tagged in, and he gives Yuma a couple of really stiff forearms. But when Yuma gives them back, Masashi sort of like moved back a bit every time and just looked pretty bad. And then he sold them. It was just strange. So it looked like he was hitting him in the chest, basically, just like sort of hammer type things, and it just wasn't good at all. And then Masashi just gives Yuma a tombstone, really sick tombstone actually. It was really stiff, and then it was hardly sold. That was it, just randoms. And then this is the 4-minute mark of a 10-minute match, so that was pretty random. Yuma then fights back pretty quickly, didn't sell it. But this didn't make much sense. And then Fuchi does his extended scoop slam segment, and this took ages. It seemed like it took like 4 or 5 minutes to get through it, and it's tedious. I mean, this guy's been around for so long on All Japan, and no one's really cared about it, and he's still here. It just goes to show you how skeleton the roster is when this guy's getting time in the ring. In the end, Masashi gets put over. This match was 10 minutes too long. Soma had very little time in the ring, and he's probably the one that sort of needs to get over, because he's a decent wrestler and he needs to get over. So anyway, Masashi gets over at the end, and it's pretty pitiful. Half a stuff, this one. So let's move on. Saying that, even though it's a terrible opener, this was a decent show. I enjoyed the show. Alright, next up we have Kento Miyahara and Yohei Nakajima taking on Shigerhiro, Irie, and the Bodyguard. I hadn't seen the Bodyguard yet. Similar vein. Let's see what did they. Similar vein as the Zeus. Similar look. This match had some good names. It had Irie, Nakajima, and Miyahara, so it was going to be decent. Well, better than the previous match anyway. So there's a nice beginning segment between Irie and Nakajima. And then this match had a nice feel to it, in my opinion, and it was competitive. Miyahara was probably going to get the pin, but it seemed like either side had a good chance of winning. Miyahara, he's a superb wrestler. He's a superb worker, and he made Irie look very good at times, and Irie got over himself, which was nice. These two guys are the standouts in this match. Nakajima, I thought, had some issues. The Bodyguard looked confused at times. He sort of didn't really know what he was doing. So it was an okay match. Some good work between Miyahara and Ishii. Nakajima just looked off the pace a little bit. Particularly when he was working with the Bodyguard. So no singles matches between these, please, thanks. That'd be good. Akiyama. So anyway, 2 stars for this one, not too bad. Next up we had SUSHI and Akebono taking on KENSO and Takeshi Minamono, the Dark Carnival stable. there are things to like about this match. I mean, Kenzo's very charismatic. Very little variety to his moveset. This is a short match, basically to give Sushi and Aki a tag title look in, and that they had the tag title match recently. I think it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago or something. But there was nothing. This was really quick. There was nothing. Just a roll up. Sushi got the roll up on Minamono. That was just a thing to get their segment going. 1.5 stars, not much going on. Right, next up we had 6-man. We had John Akiyama, Takao, Omori, Ultimo Dragon taking on Hikaru, Sato, Suwama, and Naoya Nomura. This wasn't too bad. Some slow segments to begin with. So it was a long match, which is not too bad. Nomura got beaten down pretty quickly, and Akiyama and Omori just like beat him down to the extent that they got him and gave him this really stiff scoop slam onto the concrete outside. So that was the psychology. Basically, was just those guys working Nomura over because he's a new dude or whatever. And in the end, Akiyama gave him like 4 Boston Crabs and eventually made him submit with the Boston Crab. So I mean, it was a bit different. There's some nice psychology. I think with the time given, they probably could have worked the crowd better for the finish, and they weren't really into it. Sato wasn't given much time, which was disappointing. Of all the guys here, he should be the one that's probably given the most time to prove himself. As I said, I think Akiyama could have done better beating down Nomura. They didn't work that stiff thing up from the outside into the finish or later on in the match, so it wasn't too bad. They gave us 2 1/4. Right, next up, I was looking forward to these matches. I haven't seen us. Actually, I watched a couple of matches of Kotaro Suzuki's last year, and he was really good. He put on some a few 4-star matches last year, in my opinion, in All Japan. He was taking on his old partner and guy is very familiar with, Kanemaru. This was a good match, but this could have been so much better considering how well these guys know each other. Limb work made little sense at the start. Kotaro worked on Kanemaru's leg, and Kanemaru hardly sold it. He gave him a whole bunch of moves and submissions on his leg, dragon screws, whatever, lucha rest type stuff, and then a minute later, Kanemaru was going to the top rope doing stuff. So it wasn't Suzuki's fault. I mean, it was definitely Kanemaru's fault, and he's known for this. And the limb work wasn't worked in the finish. I mean, it doesn't have to work in the finish, but it has to make sense. It has to be there for a reason, and it wasn't. I think Kotaro wanted to do something, but Kanemaru just didn't. I don't know, whether he didn't know what he was doing or he just didn't want to do it or whatever. Kanemaru got the win with three brainbusters, and I mean, he did. The finishing sequences sort of started before the brainbuster finishing sequence, and the crowd, after the first brainbuster, the crowd just didn't really care, and then he did it 2 more times, and eventually with the pin, the crowd didn't cared even less after the 3rd time. So I mean, it wasn't a good finish. I think if Suzuki got the finish, or he got over, this would have been a better match, and probably a 4-star match. But evidently he didn't. Kanemaru got over, so I expected more from this. I still gave it 3 stars because I mean, he's a really good worker. He pretty well transitioned this entire match, and if he wasn't in it, this wouldn't have got those stars. But he's good. But next up, we had Keisuke Ishii and Atsushi Aoyagi. I like this match a lot. Very sound orientation. The dispositions were clearly defined without being totally stupid. Psychology was very sound and consistent. Everything made sense. So Ishii sold extremely well, and his character was working out ways to get past Aoyagi's limb work. And the match was already better than the previous match. I mean, Ishii was very impressive. He really impressed me. And I think that this might be the first singles match I've seen him in, and he's really good. He's got a really bright future. I like the finish in this one because the limb work, Aoyagi was giving Ishii work in the finish, and it made total sense. This is one of those stylized matches. I mean, all it ticks all the my criteria, what makes a good match. There's nothing sloppy at all. It was all clean, aesthetically pleasing. The finish probably wasn't as compelling as what it should have been. I mean, it shouldn't be compelling. I mean, you don't want to steal the main, the final match's thunder. So I give this 3 3/4. So this is a really good match. If this had I'm looking forward to Aoyagi and Kotaro Suzuki in this junior tournament final. It's going to be a really good match because they know each other pretty well as well from the Noah days. Alright, on to the final match. This was astounding, probably on par with the Joe Dorian Go match, which I liked at the start of last month. This was fantastic. It was really, I mean, total war of attrition at the end. They were just beating the living hell out of each other. I mean, and when guys are like beating the living hell out of each other, I mean, you have to give it stars. This was good. And this was Go's first defense. I mean, and realistically, he's not going to drop it here. He's not going to drop it to the Zeus fella. It was a good first defense for him, I think. Because Zeus is a bodybuilder, so to put Go over it makes Go look good. But there was an issue with the match already that you knew Go wasn't going to job for this dude. There's just no way. I mean, he's pretty well. He's almost like All Japan's last hope, in getting them out of poo financially. I mean, so anyway, it's an amazing match. I mean, Zeus kept up. I thought he wasn't there in terms of cardio, but he is, and he did really well. Nothing too sloppy. There's a few little sloppy things, nothing major. It seemed longer than what it was. Like after I finished, it probably starting out a 30-minute match, but it wasn't. It was like 20 actually. How long did it go for? It went for 25 minutes. So that's a decent length for a match. The finish did drag on a little bit. I think that was a problem with the Joe Dorian match as well, and the problem with with Honma and Ishii at New Beginning for New Japan. Just the finish just dragged a bit. They could have shortened it maybe by 3 minutes or so. There was like 2 points in the match when I thought, oh, they should finish it here. When Go does one of his lariat things, you could have finished it there. In the end, Go won with the moonsault. And I thought, oh, for a match like this, I don't think doing a moonsault would have finished. I think something really stiff should have finished it. Anyway, put it this way, I thought they did better than what I thought they would have. So, total battle of attrition towards the end, just beating each other. I mean, this is 4-star plus match, so great first defense for Go. And he needs a good long reign. I think this was good. This is a good start. So they gave this one 4.25 stars. So this goes on to this is a match of the year candidate, and I'll say the Ishii and Aoyagi one probably is as well, because that was a nice solid stylized match. Cool, so that's it. Yeah, I actually enjoyed this show. I mean, it started off poor with the Fuchi match, but that's no surprise because all these matches are poor. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, the crowd was in it. The crowd loved it. There was a lot of heat, even though it's less than 900. Sometimes the shows with the smaller crowds sound better on the videos. Anyway, so that's it. Cool. Alright, thanks for that. See ya.